Finding copywriting clients on Fiverr does not need to be super difficult. Take it from me. I'm someone who started selling on Fiverr as a total noob 3 years ago. I had no idea how to find clients on Fiverr as a freelancer, but now I'm a Fiverr prorated seller, and over the years I've learned a thing or two about what works and what doesn't work when it comes to finding new copywriting clients on Fiverr. In this video, I'm gonna go over 4 key tips any new or aspiring copywriter can take down that will help them find more copywriting clients on Fiverr and make more money selling their services on the Fiverr platform. I'm also going to include one bonus tip right at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around. It's going to be a tip that most people tend to skip, but it's important, so make sure you don't miss it. And really quick, just before we get into the tips, make sure you're subscribing to this channel. If you're trying to make money on Fiverr, I put out videos every week that talk about how to make money on Fiverr. So if that's you, I think you might want to consider subscribing. I really appreciate it. All right. So how can you find copywriting clients on Fiverr? Lately, this has been a question I've been getting a lot. You know, I have a whole playlist on this channel where I provide copywriting tips and a lot of videos where I talk about how you can get started as a copywriter and how you can learn the skills to becoming a copywriter. But I don't really have many videos that show copywriters how to actually find clients. So that's what this video is going to be about. So why should you consider using these tips? Well, I'm someone who spent the last 10 years of my career working in sales and the last 3 years of my freelance career selling copywriting services on Fiverr. I've taken a ton of time figuring out what works and what doesn't, and I'm here to share those tips with you to help you have an easier time finding your copywriting clients on Fiverr. So here they are. All right, so tip number 1 is to be relevant. Be relevant. So let me explain. So many people go down the path of becoming a copywriter, and when they're ready to start getting clients, they just kind of generally reach out to everybody. And believe it or not, being just general in your outreach actually makes getting clients a whole lot harder. And the reason being is because you're reaching out to so many people. And if you're just spraying and praying, there are going to be so many more prospective clients who just turn you down because you're not selling what they're looking for. So when I say be relevant, I'm saying try to be relevant and adopt a skill set that you can sell to a specific type of audience. So you want to be relevant to what a certain type of company or client might be looking for. It'll make it easier for you to lock down clients, and it'll make it easier for them to decide that you're the copywriter for them because you're relevant to their industry, their business, or the pains that they're facing. And I know you're probably watching this and be like, Mike, the reason we're watching this video is to figure out how to get orders. How do I stay relevant or be relevant if I don't have any past orders? Here's how you do that. You focus on a specific niche. This is a piece of advice I give people a lot when they're first starting out on Fiverr. Focus on a certain niche within a particular discipline and focus on that to start. So in the example of copywriting, let's say you want to niche down and focus on writing prospecting emails for recruitment agencies. If you spend a lot of time practicing how to write these types of emails and specifically reaching out to recruitment agencies, a couple of things are going to happen. The first is you're going to adopt a comfort with their language, what they're looking for in a freelancer, what they're looking for in a copywriter. You're going to learn their lingo, their buzzwords, and as you start getting projects working for this niche type of business, you're actually going to start becoming an expert in the space. So by being relevant to that particular type of company, you're going to make it a lot easier for them to hire you, and you're also going to give yourself a huge advantage in becoming a total expert in doing that specific type of copy, which will help you get more clients in the future and increase your prices. So that's number 1, be relevant. So number 2 is solve pains or provide gains. Solve pains or provide gains. That's number 2. So when you're talking to companies as a new freelancer, It's usually pretty easy to fall into the trap of focusing on price. As a copywriter, companies are going to ask you what your price is. How much does it cost per word? And if you fall into that pattern of focusing on that, they're just going to think of you as a transactional freelancer. And what that's going to do is it's going to make them drive your prices down. You're going to end up doing more work and having to fight this battle of keeping your prices high without giving away too much free work. It's not fun. And the second thing that focusing on price does is it makes them look at you as someone who's disposable. Once they find a copywriter that they perceive to have provided more value, they're just gonna go with them. So the best way you can avoid focusing on price and really just being a transactional freelancer in the eyes of your client is to focus on solving a pain that they're having, or focus on providing them with a positive business gain. So what this is gonna do is this is gonna allow you to connect on a more emotional level with your prospective clients. If you're telling them that by hiring you, you're gonna help them solve a problem they're already having, they're gonna get excited about that. And vice versa, if you can prove to them that you'll provide a productivity gain to their business that's relevant to them, they're gonna love you. So to do this, you need to ask a lot of questions, a lot of discovery questions to uncover what types of pains they're currently experiencing or what types of productivity gains they'd like to realize. If you have questions or you don't know what type of questions to ask to get this information out of them, no worries, leave me a comment below and I'll give you some ideas of the types of questions you can ask to get this information out of your prospects. But try it out. If you can focus on talking about the pains they're having or the gains they'd like to realize, you're gonna have a lot easier time finding clients for your copywriting business on Fiverr, I promise. The third tip is to create social proof. Create social proof. So part of becoming a successful copywriter on Fiverr is creating enough social proof in the form of positive ratings and positive client feedback to make it easier as you go on as a freelancer to lock down future clients. And I know you're probably saying, Mike, the reason I'm here is for you to help me figure out how to get clients. I don't have any ratings, or maybe you don't have any ratings. That's totally cool. The number one way that I recommend new Fiverr sellers build their social proof in the form of ratings and feedback is by starting your first couple Fiverr gigs and selling them at $5. I know it's not a lot of money, and I know a lot of you are gonna hate me for saying this, but the reality is getting ratings is super important to building social proof, especially when you're just starting out. So what I did and what I always recommend new Fiverr sellers do is sell your services for $5. It's pretty much free, but look at that as you making an investment of your time to build social proof that will help you make money down the road. Think of it as a marketing expense. Do your first couple of projects for really cheap, do your absolute best to do an amazing job, and hopefully those people will give you 5-star ratings and some good feedback. And what they'll allow you to do is after you've ranked up a couple of nice ratings and a couple nice pieces of feedback, you can start increasing your prices, and then future buyers are going to look at those ratings and use them when making the decision of whether or not to hire you. Social proof is number 3, and it's so important on a marketplace like Fiverr. And the fourth tip is prospecting. Prospecting. So don't be afraid to go out and reach out to clients outside of the Fiverr platform and direct them to your Fiverr gigs. It's not something you should be afraid of, and it's actually something that you should seriously consider doing to grow your copywriting business on Fiverr. So you're probably familiar with the 2 main ways people find new business on Fiverr. The first is to create a gig and just wait for business to come to you. That usually takes the longest amount of time to get orders. The second is to respond to buyer requests. And on a marketplace like Fiverr, that can be pretty challenging because so many people are responding to these buyer requests. The third way is to prospect, to do some proactive prospecting where you are actively reaching out to companies that fit your ideal client profile. You're calling them or emailing them, letting them know that you're a freelancer, how you can help them, and that you sell your services on Fiverr. So proactive prospecting is when you're actively looking for companies that you can sell your services to. So for example, you might search for companies on the internet that fall within the category or the industry of the types of companies you can offer value to. Or you might want to look locally in classifieds or in strip plazas or malls around the area. Find companies that are relevant to how you can help them in the services you provide, and then make a list. Make a list of like 100 or 200 to start, and then start contacting that list. The easiest way to do that is to just send them an email or submit a contact form. In that communication, let them know that you're a freelancer, how you can help their business, what you sell, and where you sell it, and point them to your Fiverr gig. Proactively prospecting is a great way to drive traffic, not only to your Fiverr gigs, but any business you're starting. This is sales. You gotta reach out to the client and find them and let them know what you're selling, convince them to buy what you're selling, and then you're gonna make money doing it. Proactively prospecting is super important as a Fiverr copywriter. Not to mention that as a copywriter, a lot of what you're probably going to be writing for people has to do with helping them generate sales. So if you proactively reach out to clients as a copywriter and you impress them with your ability to reach out to them, they might use that as an indication of your abilities to help their business grow their business. So it's like a win-win. You're going to reach out to them, potentially score a client, and then you're actually convincing them that you know what to do when reaching out to clients, and they might hire you to help do the same for their business. It's awesome. And given the nature of freelancing, how it's remote and online, there's practically a limitless number of companies you can add to your prospect list and reach out to on the internet. It's awesome. All right, and the moment some of you might have been waiting for, the bonus tip. Are you ready for it? The bonus tip that is more important than all of these 4 tips for finding copywriting clients on Fiverr, and it comes before them all, is to first make sure you have a skill that you are proficient enough at that it will offer value to the people purchasing it. That is number 1. Having a skill that people actually want to buy is the most important part, whether you're becoming a Fiverr copywriter or any other sort of freelancer. Develop a skill, get really good at it, and make sure it's something people actually want or need. If you don't have a skill and you want to learn a skill, there's a ton of YouTube channels. If you're looking to learn how to be a copywriter specifically, check out Skillshare. I'll put some links in the description, and read a lot. Reading a lot is a great way to develop your own voice as a writer. Anyways, that's all the tips I have for you today. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these out already or if you're going to try any of them out. Good luck and happy selling. Until next time, cheers.